Hello and welcome back. You know, it really strikes me that the West is so China ignorant regarding even the Chinese arts. So I thought I'd do a suite of videos which spell out what is an inkstone, a little bit about its history, what is a Chinese ink stick, what is a Chinese brush, and so on. The Four Treasures of the Study is a general name of the main traditional writing tools of Chinese calligraphy. A writing brush, an ink stick, the inkstone, and Chinese paper. The use of brushes dates back to 5,000 years ago in China. Ink came about 3,000 years ago as we know it today. And the paper was invented in the Eastern Han Dynasty, and the inkstone was invented in the spring and autumn period. The name of Wenfang study dates back to the southern and northern dynasties of China, 420-589 AD. It refers to scholars' study. Besides these four treasures, tools used in the study also include brush pots, brush rack, the ink box, the wrist rest, brush washer, paperweights, ink pad. All of these are generally necessary to the study. People engaged in the painting and calligraphy art attach a lot of importance to the choice of tools. An inkstone is literally a stone mortar for the grinding of ink and containing of the created ink. The term grind is not essentially accurate in the sense that you pulverize the inkstone with the ink stick. Rather, it's a gentle, slow, meditative process with a little water on the stone, and the ink stick very gently moved slowly over the surface of the wet stone. Traditional Chinese ink was usually solidified into sticks for easier transport and preservation. Let's just cover that for a second. An ink stick, the ink sticks that I use from Old Huishihu in Kaiwen, they're made of pine oil soot, and it takes 18 litres of oil to make 1 litre of soot. And this is mixed with young deer horn glue, extract of bear gallbladder, secret medicines, beautiful perfumes, sometimes ground mother of pearl, or gold leaf or something like that sometimes. And then it's moulded and carved and left for a couple of years to set, and then it's beautifully hand painted. There's a lot of touristy ones on the market that cost next to nothing, which have plaster of Paris in. They make ink, but it's not really of a good quality to the serious artist, so you've got to hunt around a bit for good quality ink sticks. If you wanted a larger quantity of ink, you could actually contain the created ink in a little well on the inkstone. Some inkstones, the larger ones, have a small water well. Some people use it for water to keep the inkstone wet because it mustn't be allowed to dry, and some people use it when they're making a lot of ink in the traditional method, which takes a little time, I have to say, and they keep it in the ink well. You can imagine on a warm day, in a warmer climate, the inkstone can be 10 inches across the actual surface, 10 by 10, and it dries out pretty quickly. The inkstone, together with the ink brush, ink stick and paper, are the four writing implements traditionally known as the Four Treasures of the Study. The inkstone is Chinese in origin and is used in East Asian calligraphy and painting and other forms of brush painting. Existing inkstones date back from thousands of years. However, the true age of inkstones began in the Tang Dynasty, 618-905, and reached its height in the Song period. Existing Song period inkstones can be of incredible size and often display very delicate carving. Song inkstones can also exhibit a roughness in their finish, and dragon designs in the Song period often showed an almost comical depiction of the dragon, where he almost seems to, well, he actually does, he smiles on a lot of the stones. From the subsequent Yuan period, in contrast, dragons displayed are very aggressive in appearance. A second great age of inkstone manufacture was during the reign of the Emperor Qianlong, 1736 to 1796. The Emperor Qianlong had his own imperial collection of inkstones catalogued into a 24-chapter compendium entitled Siqing Yanpu. Many of these inkstones still exist in the Palace Museum collection in Taiwan. Books and scholarship on Chinese inkstones exist chiefly in Japan, where a long bibliography on the subject exists. Inkstones should be appreciated in the context of the traditional scholar studio culture, where the appreciation of furnishings, antiques, paper, seals and all other associated objects exist. Members of the Chinese literati, such as the Song period's Ouyang Xiu, contributed greatly to this new culture. For serious calligraphers and painters, a good inkstone is as important as the quality of the ink. An inkstone will affect the quality and texture of the ink that's ground upon it, the ink being glue, other substances, and soot. 4 kinds of inkstones are especially noted in inkstone art history and are popularly known as the 4 famous inkstones. The first is Duanxi stone, or Japanese Tankei, from Duanxi, Guangdong. Duan stone is a volcanic tuff, commonly of a purple or purple-red colour, and there are various distinctive markings such as eyes that were traditionally valued in the stone. A green variety of the stone was mined in the Song period. Duan inkstones are carefully categorised by the mines from which the raw stone was excavated. Particular mines were open only for discrete periods in history. For example, the Mazikung mine was originally opened in Qianlong period 1736 to 1795, although reopened in modern times. It's now closed. Xi stone from Xi County, Anhui. This stone is a variety of slate, and like Duan stone is categorized by the various mines from which the stone was obtained historically. It's a black colour and displays a variety of celebrated gold-like markings. These inkstones likewise date from the late Tang period. Of great rarity is Tao River stone from South Gansu. This stone is no longer found today and was completely gathered from the river bottom in the Song period. The stone is crystalline and like jade. The stone bears distinct markings such as bands of varying shades. This stone can be easily confused with Duan stone of the green variety, but can be distinguished by a careful observation of its crystalline nature. Chengni ceramic stone is a ceramic manufactured inkstone. This process was begun in the Tang period and is said to have originated in Luoyang, Henan. Chinese painting is one of the oldest continuous artistic traditions on the planet. The earliest paintings were not representational but ornamental. They consisted of patterns or designs rather than pictures. Stone Age pottery was painted with spirals, zigzags, dots or animals. It was only during the Warring States period, 403 to 221 BC, that artists began to represent the world around them. 2 main techniques in Chinese painting are meticulous, gongbi, often referred to as court-style painting, and freehand, shui mo, loosely termed watercolour or brush painting. The Chinese character mo means ink and shui means water. This style is also referred to as ziyi, or freehand style. It's very much known that the better the stone, the smaller and more consistent the particles will be and the denser the ink. It is possible to buy very ornamental inkstones from Europe. Go into eBay or eBay in Hong Kong and you'll find a beautiful array of inkstones from China and also from OAS, which is orientalartsupply.com, and they have a superb range of ink sticks and inkstones that you can buy. Currently I'm writing to them to ask them whether they'll actually get in any highly ornamental inkstones, as people in the West, should they ever become interested enough to buy them like me, would need a good source. Just as a side issue, OrientalArtSupply.com have probably the best selection of books available on the internet. If you want to study a particular theme in painting, the range of books they have is absolutely stunning and well worth the time. On the other hand, you could go, if you're in England, you could go to Guanghua, look on guanghua.com and you'll see their website to find out where they are, but the website is exceptionally thin and just basically gives them a presence on the web. But to actually go to Guanghua in London Chinatown, you can actually find the most amazing range of not just Chinese English literature, but Chinese art books and calligraphy books. The range of calligraphy books they've got is mind-blowing. It's the books range from £2 or £3 right up to about £1,000. They have some utterly stunning pieces of literature in there. However, this is what an inkstone is. It's a kind of volcanic slate. It smells like it's like an igneous flint when you rub it with your fingers. Beautifully carved, and it's used with a little water to gently move an ink stick over the surface and create a wonderful thick black dense ink that you use for Chinese calligraphy. And that is what an inkstone is. And these examples I've gathered from around the world from different sites, and they're very elaborate. You can buy very, very simple inkstones for £3 or £4, but this at least gives you an idea of the rough tabletop style of inkstone that is available to you. Thanks for listening.